Welcome to our Sunday School highlights. Our Sunday School today will be coming from out of the Gospel of Matthew chapter 25, and we're going to look at verses 31 to 46. And of course, our theme today is Don't Be a Goat. Don't be a goat. Our three transitional points. Number one, the Son of Man, glorious return. That's Matthew chapter 25, verses 31 and 33. Number two, the righteous are rewarded. Verse 30 through 40. That's Matthew chapter 25. And number three, the fate, F-A-T-E, of the unrighteous. Matthew chapter 25, verses 41 through 46. Of course, again, don't be a goat. Of course, in our day and time, when one say that they are the goat, it is our theme. We use the acronym greatest of all time. However, when Jesus makes his second return, the doctrine of the expectation of the eschatology, of course, those who are going to be goats, they're not going to be great ones, but they're going to go into a place that has been reserved for Satan and all of his followers. Of course, they're going to be the ones who committed a sin of omission. They refused to do the work and the will of God. Of course, in this particular chapter, we find that Jesus began to deal with, of course, his return. And of course, the question has stimulated from out of the chapter 24, when will he come back? But Jesus was saying what we as kingdom-minded and kingdom believers and followers of Christ, what we ought to be doing as it relates to his return. And of course, the church has played such a vital role in African American history, of course, and even now, if you ask 80% of Black America believe that the church plays such a significant role as it relates to spiritual and social well-being. Of course, back in the days, of course, our civil rights movement, the abolitionist movement, the Black Lives movement, all of it stimulated from the church, of course, the education and, of course, where they were getting their training and all of the help and support of those who went out to fight for freedom, because injustice anywhere was a threat to justice everywhere. So those who are marginalized. And people of God, we're living in days and now, even now, that if there ever a time for the church to play a big role and take on that responsibility of meeting the needs of the community, certainly it is now. I tell people all the time, I want Emmanuel to be, I want us to look like the 25th chapter of the Gospel of Matthew. And this is where we literally go out as we serve in prison, as we serve at the nursing home, as we serve our community. I want to make sure that we're doing what God expects us to do. Of course, in verse number 31 to 33, first point is when the Son of Man makes his glorious return. When Jesus comes back, of course, for his second return, he's not coming as a babe in an angel in a manger, but he's coming back in his glory, and he's going to be the one to judge, of course, in his courtroom scene. And when he judges, he's going to separate the sheep from the goat. The sheep is going to be on the right side. The right side always was the place of honor. The right side was a place of power and prestige. He says, to those on the right, come, you are blessed of my Father, into the kingdom that is prepared for you. Of course, he says heaven is a prepared place for prepared people. But then the ones were goats who went on the left side. And then he comes back in verse number 34 to 40, the righteous, those who were on the right side, they were rewarded. Why they was rewarded? Verse 34 says, the king will say to them on the right hand, you're blessed of my Father. You enter into the kingdom that has been prepared before the foundation of the world. He said, I were hungry, you and thirsty. You met my physical need. I was hungry. He said, I was a stranger. You showed me hospitality. You took me in. I was naked. You made it a habit of making sure you clothed the naked. I was sick. I had health issues. You came and you visit me. I was in prison. And yes, I was harassed. I was marginalized. You came unto me. You were doing the work of the Lord. And of course, those on the right side, they're perplexed. They say, wait a minute, I didn't do anything for any reward or anything. I did it because that's what I was called to do. That's what we do. But he said, when you was all of this, when you were in prison, when you were sick, when you were hungry, he says, when you do it to the least of my people, you have done it also unto me. 1 John chapter 3, verse 16 through 18, he said, hereby I perceive the love of God, because he laid down his life for us. We ought to lay down our life for our brother. But whosoever have this world good and see his brother, his sister in need, and shut his bowels of compassion, how can you say the love of God is in you? Because compassion is love in action. So he says, my little children, sons and daughters, let us not love with words and deeds, but words and tongue, but deeds and truth. We need to not just say we love people, but we ought to show them we love them. And then our final point, verses 41 through 46, the fate of the unrighteousness. Of course, he comes, and now the king says to them that on the left side, and he begins to say, you're cursed of my father. He says, you're cursed. Why are you cursed? And you enter into an everlasting fire that is prepared for the devils and his angels. Why are we doomed? He says, because you committed a sin of omission. I was hungry, you didn't feed me. I was thirsty, you didn't give me nothing to drink. I was a stranger, naked. I was sick, I was in prison. You didn't even visit me. You just turned your head and went on but your own business. Then shall he say unto them, then shall he say, answer and say, Valley, when was you all of this? He says, guess what? When you did not do anything to them, you were actually doing it unto me. When you neglected to support, when you neglected to help out, when you neglected to make this place a better place, you have done it also unto me. Listen, we should not be doing things just to be seen doing things, but there ought to be some things we should be seen doing and visiting and taking care of and feeding and of course clothing and just showing hospitality. Say these are the things that we should be doing. So therefore I want to encourage you today, please don't be a goat. God has given us all time, talent, and treasure, and he's going to come back again, and he is going to reward every man according to the work he has done. God bless you. I pray that this Sunday School highlights have been a blessing unto you. As always, I want to encourage you and your family. Please go and join someone's Sunday School on tomorrow. Christian education is vital to Christian growth. Whenever we stop growing, we stop living. Emmanuel Baptist Church, 2129 Highway 1 South. We start tomorrow Sunday School at 7:15. Hope to see you there. God bless you. Have a blessed day on purpose in Jesus' name.